What's up? Back for another week. I'm feeling confident. I did most of my homework, or at least some of it, so I'm hoping that we're going to go up today. So let's play some games. Let's see what I'm going to play. How about the French? As always. Else. The golden square, as Raven would say. I have my knights on the golden square. I win, even though my opponent also does. Seems like free money. Take. Yeah. Raven always says we want to get on the 5th rank. I'm on the 5th rank. I win. It seems good. I think I'm up 4. Who cares? He better move that back or I'm moving this up here and I get more. Dang it. Don't give him the free file. He's not getting this bishop off anytime soon. Okay. I'm not going to give him a free checkmate. Got him. 1-0. We're going again. We're going again, baby. We're going again. This one's for the fans. Well, I'm completely out of my comfort zone. I'm going to try and trade because it's so complicated, I feel like I'm going to mess up. Boom, 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 boom. I got some tricks, baby. Don't give the rook the open file. I know he wants it. He's not going to get it. Thanks for the rook. 2 blunders, whatever. Oh, we have some construction. Hold on, folks. Same opening. Went well last time. I guess I should get this bishop out before I put the knight here. Last time that was an issue. Let's do the same thing. Let's see how it goes. Nice.
I can't believe you've done this.
His king's having a very bad time. What's weak? I unironically feel like this homework is paying off. And the lessons in general. Famous last words, but I feel good. I can't let this fork happen. Can't lose on time. Wow, I think this knight's trapped. Nope. I think we got him. Literally the first 3-0 in channel history. That was a mistake, sir. Now you have to pay the toll. Give me the money. This rocks. This rocks. Alright, last one. Let's see if we can go actually 4-0. That'd be nuts. I don't think it's the French if they don't play a pawn opening, but I don't care. This is intense. I don't feel like we're doing bad, though. As always, short on time. I want to get this queen out of here, but I think I have to take the time to make the knight active, because over here it's just so bad. It's like actively negative for me. Not only is it not a positive, it's a negative. It's useless. Really, I have multiple bad pieces. I gotta make them not so bad. Gotta go fast. I'm really down on time. I'm gonna crack this one open like a coconut. Or at least I think I definitely could if I had time. Which I don't. Oh, I have 11 seconds. I'm so screwed. I'm so slow. Dang it, I really think I could win this one. I should ask him for more time. I don't know if that's a button, but please give me time so I could beat you. Dang it. Well, let's see what the analysis says. I think that I was probably going to win. Oh, I was winning by so much. I would have won. Dang it. I need to play faster. But either way, that was a good day. I think Raven's going to be happy. I'm happy. I think that was a good win. 3-1, but it's really like... It's really like 4-0. I mean, we all know what's going on. We know it's like 4-0. But anyway, I'll talk to you guys later with Raven, and thanks for stopping by. And I'll see you in literally no time.
Please clap.
Hello. This is week number 3?
Yes.
Yeah, week number 3 of lessons with the GM. Here I'm teaching my editor, Kevin. He's played some good games for us. Let's start on this most recent one. Your opponent played knight f3. You played e6. What was your motivation for that?
I literally only play the French defense.
Yeah, I think that's fine. It's a healthy system. It's a solid system. So c5, bishop g2. In most cases, wing pawns are better, or wing pawns are good to trade for central pawns. So if you ever have a chance to trade one of these off for any pawns in these files, you should go for it. So what should you do here?
Take.
Yeah, exactly. Nice. Yeah, taking would be good. The only slight drawback to this is that then you're allowing this knight to move out of the way of the bishop. And they would take this way. This is still completely fine for you, though.
Nice.
So knight c6. Castles. Knight f6. Bishop f4. So especially here, now taking would be great. You have a very classic idea in these positions. Not just here, but in general in queen-pawn positions, you want to be very sensitive to when the queen's bishop moves out. So the queen's bishop in this position for white is c1, and for black it's c8. When it moves out, there's a big weakness on b2.
Okay.
And this goes for both sides. How do you think you could target this?
Knight to a5 to c4.
That's a good idea, but then you're just going to get bamboozled.
Yeah. I don't know then.
And try to hit it head on. Something else.
A pawn? Just start pushing it?
You're suggesting ideas that are going to take way too long. We want to move the queen.
Yeah, that makes sense.
We're hitting these two, and this becomes very uncomfortable for them. First of all, you're hitting the knight, so they'll probably trade. And in this position, it's surprisingly difficult for them to play this. What do they do here? How are they going to defend this pawn? They can't bring a rook here yet. They don't want to move this bishop back to score 1. That would make sense. If they move the queen, objectively now this queen is worse. It was better on an open file, at least doing some things. The classic move that people play here is b3. What do you think about this?
It does look like fine, I guess, but that's like a very weak side if I could get some other stuff going. Like,
yeah.
The bishop could cut right through.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. That's the key thing. I tell all my students this. You do not want to push these knight pawns one square forward if you don't have a bishop to place here.
Yeah.
So this is a classic thing. If you can elicit this, generally, and the bishop is already committed to the other side of the board, you're in good shape. Like already here we could play bishop b4. And now this is very annoying. Think about how this knight wants to get out. It can't go either of these places. If it goes here, your bishop can just drill in and sit very comfortably on this square here. I'm not sure if we ever talked about this. Did we mention the definition of some square that is impossible to get attacked by pawns?
I don't think we heard a term for that.
It's called an outpost.
Okay, makes sense.
It's a very, very common part of chess language, an outpost. Normally knights like it, bishops also like it. The whole idea is that knights and bishops are only really afraid of pawns, right? If you threaten knights or bishops with a trade of knights or bishops or anything higher, they're going to be fine with it.
Yeah.
But pawns are what minor pieces are afraid of. So as soon as a pawn can't attack some square, that means it's prime territory. It's just a prime place to set up shop. And this is a perfect outpost here. You're going to notice outposts in general on files that are adjacent, on squares adjacent, on squares with file on which the adjacent files have had their pawns pushed.
Yeah.
So in this position, the file that the bishop is on technically hasn't had any pawn pushes, but that isn't what matters. What matters is that the pawns here have been moved.
Yep.
Yeah. I mean, this sounds super simple. We're going really into the nitty-gritty of it, but this is an unbelievably important concept, just in terms of positional domination and just tightening the screws. Like, how do you think white would feel if you had driven your bishop here?
Bad.
Nice.
No, I think that, like, it might have been this game, I forget, but I ended up in one of the games with a bishop on the H file, or maybe it was the A file if it was a white game, the entire game, and you could just see how annoying it was that there's, like, this piece that they could never get rid of. And that was a much worse piece than one that's all the way up on their side.
Nice. Yeah, the further up the better, but keep in mind, though, with each successive rank you move up, you are getting closer to their pieces, so you should be a little more vulnerable.
Yeah.
Like, even here, technically, the knight could hit it, but for now it has to deal with this threat. Good. So you played bishop e7, a3, castles, b4. So yeah, right here is probably the first big slip up you made. A classic thing to do whenever there's a lot of tension, just count the amount of attackers and defenders. How many things are attacking this?
2.
How many things are defending?
2.
What about this? How many things are attacking?
The B pawn, you mean?
Yeah.
2.
2? Only these two?
3.
Yeah, 3. How many pieces are defending?
1.
Yeah, so just win the pawn. Exactly. Did you see that you could win it, or you just wanted to maintain the integrity?
I think I probably wanted to maintain the integrity. I don't remember exactly.
Yeah, it's not the end of the world. These aren't isolated, right? They're still connected. So
Yeah.
it's not, you are fragmenting your pawn slightly, but it's definitely worth a pawn.
Yeah, and I was just, I guess, probably scared of the rook opening up.
Yeah, the rook is a little annoying, but you can always do this. If you can build concrete against the rook, it's not going to really be much of a problem.
Yeah.
Pretty much no piece wants to be pointed into concrete. Okay, so b6, b5. Here you made a very nice move. Your knight is aiming for the square. With these pawns pushed, they can't control it.
Yep.
Do you remember what this is called?
An outpost.
Yeah, very nice. So knight a5, knight c3, bishop b7. Yeah, you're going to be able to squeak into the outpost whenever you want. They played knight e5. They're attacking this. Okay, so your knight can't really use the outpost that quickly. Yeah, we're talking about a lot of high super advanced principles today. Not only do pawns that are advanced have, not only on files in which both adjacent files have had their pawns pushed, have a lot of outposts, but in general they just have the most weaknesses. Like if we look at these squares, I'm trying to find the right color. Both of these squares are very vulnerable, right?
Yeah.
They can never be controlled by pawns. Also this pawn, like for it to actually be technically these are connected, like in terms of each file has a pawn, but this is really disjointed here.
Yeah.
So the whole idea is unless this pawn is able to somehow magically get to here or here, there are going to be enormous weaknesses, especially with this pawn here. So you should be lining up on this as soon as possible with something like rook c8.
That makes sense. That would have been a very good move.
Yeah, it would have been really problematic for them. Like they could play queen d2, you would take, they would take back, and yeah, these two pieces are just in the firing line. Maybe you would need to be a little bit careful because the bishop is hitting your queen here. Maybe they could play knight c6. No, this looks good actually. You have a very nice move here. You don't have to worry about your queen. You can respond with this captures with a counter threat to their queen. And after takes, you would take with your queen, and you are breaking through finally.
That'd be cool.
Yeah. Yeah, it's really important just to stay cognizant of the pawn structure. And just, you know, like the thing is at lower levels, it's really hard to keep track of what's going on, and so you want to be sort of selective of what even comes up on your radar. But just every now and then ask yourself where the weaknesses are.
Yeah.
If you notice that two pawns have been pushed so much farther than the rest, and they're on, what would be the term for this? Every other, like, right? There's a gap in between. Normally, if they get pushed together, conversely, it's actually not that bad, right? Like, imagine both of these pawns were pushed. Then, because they've both been pushed, they still have the C and F to control all of the gaps.
Mm-hmm.
But if it's one pawn and then a file in which nothing has been pushed, and then another pawn heavily advanced, I guess we'll get back to you guys at some point with what this
that
is
word
called.
means. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure English has a word for this.
Yeah.
Intermittent maybe. But anyway, yeah, just you should be cognizant of this. What do you think about the C4 mold?
Well, I guess not great.
You wanted the pawn in the 5th rank, right?
Yeah, and just to lock down these 3 in a row versus his like messed up pawn structure, because he's never going to be able to push the C pawn. So I just would always control the center was the general line of thinking.
That's a good idea, but the problem is that you forgo any option of ever opening up the C file, which is his biggest vulnerability.
Yeah.
Because you can never move this pawn back to trade it.
Mm-hmm.
I definitely understand the sentiment, though. You know more than most how much I like pawns in the 5th rank. It's just a real stylistic bias of mine.
Yeah.
Yeah, the thing though here is these squares aren't that useful for their pieces. Their knight is a bit inconvenienced, but apart from this isn't really hurting anything else of theirs. Like if there was a knight, for instance, here, and it could only go to these 2 squares, then this type of move would make more sense.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So b5, knight a5. Sorry, I clicked back. So f3. a6, very nice. e4. You took, they took. You took, they took, knight h5, bishop d2. Knight h5 is a good idea. You're hitting the bishop. You're pushing it away.
Get in my house.
Yeah.
You're not invited.
This is a very strange position, honestly. Everyone has weird pieces. None of the knights are on the golden squares. Your bishop is pointed into your pawn, but their bishop is also. You have two relatively good dark squared bishops. I would assume this is even. Technically, your pawn structure is slightly better because you only have one island on the queen side while they have two. There's this gap here. But your pawns are disjointed, though, so it almost makes no difference. You played f6. Which of your pieces hates this move?
The bishop?
And the knight.
Yeah.
And the knight. You just trapped that guy out. You laid him out in the cold. Yeah, he's not gonna be happy about that. The good news is the knight has to go back immediately. If the knight had to retreat, if the knight could retreat anywhere else and he could just play g4 next move, you would be in a lot of trouble. But it looks like his knight has to go here. He didn't though. He played f4. You took. He took you. You went for it. You went for more pawns on the 5th rank. Nice. I'm liking the style.
Yeah, I didn't want his rook to get an open file, and like I was thinking already about somehow at some point maybe pushing the bishop to c8 and then rook to f4, f5.
Rook f5 is normally you wouldn't need your rook there. You don't like the queen there, right? Is that what I'm getting?
And then I could start to attack the king side maybe.
But how? Your rook is pointed into stone.
Well, then I could maybe move it to the h file and then move the queen over.
It doesn't seem like you have almost any space over there yet. It's
I mean, I end up going over all the way to the other side of the board because that is how it goes. You are right.
No, the thing is these pawns, there's still almost no open files, and there's very little wiggle room because this pawn is here.
Yeah.
I don't think you need to be worried though about this queen. There's just a massive logjam in the center, so no piece can really go from one side to the other.
Yeah.
Right. Only his queen was able to sneak over, but nothing else is able to sneak over for him, and also nothing is more or less able to sneak over for you. I would focus on this d pawn. This d pawn is quite weak. He would like to reinforce it with c3, but the problem is then his knight will get trapped. His knight has nowhere to run, and this could become a big issue. You could play bishop c6, and if he plays a4, he's starting to get in some difficulties as to how to defend this. If he retreats, he drops this pawn here. And also, by the way, now your knight finally has this square because you've gotten him to push the pawn. Right.
Yeah.
Oh, wait. No, sorry. You always had this.
Mm-hmm.
I thought the pawn was on a2. Oh, yeah. No, sorry.
He just moved that.
It was this pawn.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, so I would have focused on this. Your pawn played knight c3. Yeah. It's really important just, I mean, I know I've been drilling this home several times. These are the golden squares for the knights. If you get a position in which one of the knights has already been traded, look at the squares that it's not keeping control of anymore, right? There's no knight covering these squares. So my first instinct here would be to play bishop f6 and attack this pawn. And if they play bishop e3, we need to be a little bit careful. Likewise, we don't have a knight here, so this pawn is also weak, right? If we play knight c6, then this pawn hangs with the queen. But what we could do is we'll kick the queen out first, they'll move back, and then you play knight c6. And this is extremely uncomfortable for them. So, yeah, remember how in like the first class we talked about this being the ideal way for them to meet this knight? Like having a pawn here covering? This is the opposite. In this case, their pieces have to protect a pawn, and pieces hate doing that. You want to, just in general in chess, you want to delegate almost all the defensive, annoying responsibilities to the lowest possible. What is the word I'm looking for? Delegation. I don't know. Yeah. So okay.
The janitors.
Yeah. Yeah. So f5, bishop f6 here. Knight c6, very good. Played like a GM.
Nice.
Queen d1, knight e7. G4. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Your bishop doesn't have anywhere to retreat.
Yeah.
I guess, yeah, I'm dropping pearls of wisdom on you. What is it, eggs of wisdom? Or pearls
of wisdom.
Yeah, I'm dropping pearls of wisdom on you, and I'm dropping too many rules on you at once, but this is another rule. You need to the farther your bishop gets out, the more essential having one diagonal to retreat on is. This is actually pretty far out, so normally you don't need it, but as soon as this pawn gets here, your first instinct should be, does my bishop have anywhere to retreat? So with that in mind, a good move would just be moving this knight back somewhere like here, or you could also just move this pawn. You could play here, for instance. But one way or another, you need to clear the diagonals out. So you played rook a5. He also missed it, though. He didn't want to trap the bishop. Yeah, that would have been interesting.
I think I saw that coming, but I thought I would just go fast enough I could start. Because I just wanted to... If I got this pawn and I got a rook on a3, then the entire third rank is completely, like, undefended was my general idea.
You have the right idea. The problem, though, is that you are only winning a pawn after all, and that would be a winning advantage if you're getting it, but if you're losing a piece for it, you're still going to be losing.
Yeah.
The piece is going to make such an enormous differential. I agree with your strategic idea completely. Yeah, if you break through here, you're winning a pawn, you're also opening that file. He can shield it for a bit, though. He'll play c3 and his knight is defending, and it's still going to take a bit long for you to get your pieces in. You played rook a8? Yeah, he missed it again. He should just play g5 here. This, honestly, though, this would be more complicated than I'm alleging. You would be able to take here and hit the bishop, and he would need to give away a rook first, and then take. And after the dust settles, you've gotten a rook and 2 pawns for 2 pieces. But in general, the 2 minor pieces are much better than a rook, because it's 2 attacking units. So perhaps because you're winning this pawn, and maybe you have good pressure here, it's okay for you, but in almost all cases, rook for 2 pieces is a really bad deal if you're the one getting the rook. Alright, so bishop c1, knight c6, c3. Ah, so now you see when this pawn pushes, an outpost has appeared. Bishop e7, g5, queen d6. What was your idea? You were just trying to pile up on this pawn?
Yeah.
That's a good idea, and I understand at this point you were low on time, but you don't want to pile up with your heavy pieces in front, because then you're going to have to trade them first.
Yeah, I was almost out of time at this point, but yeah, I could see that.
You got to put your bishop here first.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is a tricky position, because now all of a sudden his pawns are starting to come down the board. Your king is weak, because you placed literally every piece on the board on the queen side. Anyway, so queen d6, he played bishop f4, queen d7, a4. Nice, you took the pawn. I think you're winning here. You're up a pawn. He is attacking your queen with a discovered attack, but you could take this pawn, and yeah, this should be great for you. So anyway, yeah, unfortunately you lost on time. I guess in the future, I don't want to overburden you with too many rules. We will develop some interesting rules for how to manage your time better. But for now, I'm not going to complicate things. Let's look at this game. So you were white against Axam.
He's good.
Yeah.
Everyone knows
Axam
him.
won. They call him the Butcher of Tehran.
I've heard that. I've heard it said.
From someone other than me?
Yep. My dad told me that.
Yeah, so e5 technically is not a good move.
Mm.
It seems you like it, though. It really isn't the end of the world. You can keep playing it. There are much bigger things we have to deal with. Technically, you can take here. If you feel you like these positions, go for it, though. It's like a reversed French.
Yeah, exactly. I don't care what color I'm playing, what my opponent plays. I'm playing the French.
Yeah, that's the way to do it.
Yeah.
You know, if you really want to go for that, just play e3 and d4.
That's also a move. Yeah. Instead of trying to turn e4 into the French defense.
It's this is the famous Vant crease opening.
Literally, no one's ever heard of that. Not even XM1, the Butcher of Tehran.
Yeah, he knows about it all. His wisdom is known throughout the continent. All right, so here, yeah, I've been noticing you play d3 or knight c4 a lot. Your bishop should come out to b5 first.
Yeah.
Because especially here, sooner or later you're going to have to push this pawn to d3, and your bishop is going to be really awful then. I guess you could think about putting your bishop here long term, but that is going to take a lot of time. So bishop b5 would be a very nice move. You're putting pressure on the knight, and what do you think about this trade?
It looks good.
Yeah, these are really ugly pawns.
Yeah, they're very ugly.
Yeah, I go over this a lot in my bird course, hashtag bird course. You guys won't have any idea what I'm talking about for a very long time, but sooner or later it will be released on Chessable. Anyway, yeah.
A chess course for birds. It teaches birds how to play chess.
Yeah.
Also the bird opening.
Yeah. With a foreword by Charlie Kelly.
Yeah.
On bird law. Yeah, these pawns are just terrible.
Yeah.
It's not that they're so they're immediate targets, right? Like, how am I going to attack them if there are no open files? It's not that I can attack them that quickly. It's that they're so inflexible.
But the payoff is always like you gave up your knight for a bishop, your bishop for a knight, which is not ideal.
That's
right?
not ideal if the bishops have open diagonals. If we look at this type of position, the bishops are not going to have open diagonals, especially this one.
Yeah.
That's an important rule of thumb. We are getting into the more advanced rules, and I did want to be a little bit more careful about how many rules I just throw at you at one time. Yeah, bishops need open diagonals, and if you give your bishop for a knight, in other words, if you're playing against the bishop pair because you've traded your bishop for a knight, you just need to make sure that your knights have good squares.
Yeah.
In this case, your knight has a fantastic square. It has, I'm not sure, the evergreen square on c4. We got to find new words for this because these are the c3. These are the golden squares that we know that are always colored red.
You just call them the silver squares. That's one step down from gold.
Yeah. But no, this is gold. This is platinum. This is even better than gold.
All right, platinum. The platinum squares. But only in very specific contexts.
It only yeah.
When he pushes that pawn, it transmutes lead into platinum.
Exactly.
It's the alchemy square.
Yeah. If the pawn is on d5, do not put your knight on c4. I'm gonna do it. I'm not answering emails.
I'm
okay?
gonna do it.
You cannot, guys. You got to stop sending me these emails. No, do you know there's this really funny story. Do you know who Tarash was?
No.
Tarash was a really famous player back in the days of like the Roaring '20s, back when chess was going through an enormous revolution in terms of the theory. Prior to the 20s, everyone thought that you had to occupy your center with pawns, and if you didn't do that, you were going to be worse. And then the 20s came along, and people invented so many new interesting openings. They were called the hypermodernists because their ideas were seen as incredibly outlandish. But a lot of their openings actually stuck. Like there's some really famous ones, like the Grunfeld, and so be it. But anyway, so Tarash was around at that time, and Tarash. I'm not sure how many people subscribe to this magazine, but Tarash wrote this magazine article on how you always want to place your rook behind the pawn. And he was talking about endgames. But apparently someone followed his advice and lost terribly because they applied it completely incorrectly.
Yeah.
And so because of that, someone wrote into him saying, "Look at you, I followed your stupid rule and lost the game." And Tarash said by far like the most chess thing ever. He said the rule applies unless it doesn't.
That's a good philosophy.
Which pretty much means like you're on your own. You're going to need to figure out when the rules apply. The rules are good guidelines. They're good tendencies.
Yeah.
I call them tendencies or frequencies. They're not something to apply in 100% of cases, okay? If you put your knight here, but there's a pawn on d5 or b5, it might not go well.
I'll try it.
See what happens.
Yeah, I'll see if
maybe it works.
Yeah, you don't know until you try.
Yeah, maybe the other Dave and Busters will accept it.
Yeah, possibly.
So takes here. Here you really botch the cabbage here. What should you do?
Take the rook.
Yeah. So why does the record say that you took the queen?
It was a mistake.
You just take, it's over. It's completely over.
Yeah.
There's literally nothing.
I'll be in the same position I was before, except his rook is gone.
Yeah, you can come back if you want.
Yeah.
There's a really cool move you have here. You have this, which is beautiful. You're clearing this out. And so if he takes the queen, you take back, and okay, objectively this isn't that sound because you trapped your knight for no reason. But
it looks cool.
The idea is likely they will take here, and then you get this with a nice checkmate.
I don't know if they would take there. Like, I mean, I would take there, but I don't know if like the average person would take there when there's just a free queen.
Well, we know the butcher's a greedy man.
Yeah, that's true.
The butcher is known throughout for his greed.
That's true.
So takes. He's known from the plains of Damascus to the Silk Road to Beijing.
I don't know what this guy was doing, honestly. He really wanted to get the king out there.
Yeah, I think you managed this very nicely. You just defended everything. Check. Check is good. King e6. So here you had a very straightforward mate, right? Your knight is going to take, and he's almost going to be checkmated. But you do need to watch out for the fact that the knight is covering this. So first kick the knight out. He plays knight h4. And now if you take, he could still take here. So just play f4. I would say it's 50-50 that he's going to blunder this checkmate. This is not that obvious.
Yeah.
Because your bishop is the sleeper here.
That would have been a cool checkmate.
Yeah. And if he does something else, if he tries to defend this somehow, you might also have f5 with some tricks.
Yeah.
Yeah. You castled here, which isn't bad. I mean, I'm honestly splitting hairs. You're playing very well. h5, bishop d2, f6, bishop e1. I'm not. This is the first move that I was a little confused by.
I don't know. Honestly, I'm looking at it now, trying to remember what I was thinking, and I have no clue.
Obviously, there's tension here, so the rook is immediately going to be useful.
Yeah.
Put the rook there. Get that bad boy ready to hop into the game. Think of the rook like a bench warmer. He's been waiting to play all day.
I think it was the classic, I thought the bishop moved like a rook trick. If I put the bishop on the first file, then it will be able to move horizontally and vertically.
Yeah, that's not how chess works.
Now I know. Like I say, you don't know until you try.
Yeah. Yeah, this rook is just been waiting to get in the game. If he takes, you take, you have an open file, and it makes your game so much easier. Just stick the rooks on the open file.
Yeah.
I mean, you won the game in spite of thinking the bishop was a rook, which is a bit of an accomplishment.
It happens all the time.
So takes 93. Here you would have a really glorious checkmate. You must have a checkmate here. I feel like if you take here, the king only can walk up. There must be some checkmate here. Oh, I guess we can't afford the engine yet. We're still running low on funds. At some point we will. This must be completely winning. There must be some sort of checkmate. Like here, if you just played bishop, I'm wondering where the best move would be. Like bishop c3, he takes, you take back, you've given away an exchange. But look at this. Do you think any king wants to be in this firing line?
Definitely not. But I don't know if it's like at my level I'm going to be making sacrifices at this point when I have a free win.
Don't you want to be Kasparov?
No. I want to get higher than 1026.
But you're already beating strong players, held in high regard.
Yeah.
Like the Butcher of Iran.
Yeah.
I think you're going to have a lot of checkmates, though, by the way. Like, okay, I understand your point. Actually, yeah, you made a completely reasonable decision. But for the purposes of this channel, I'm always going to highlight the flashy solutions. I guess you don't have checkmate, but man, it's close to it. It's so close. Have you ever been so close to something that you could almost taste it?
Never. I've never heard that either.
I think it's from a song. Check here, check. There must be some checkmate here. Oh my god, all of these lines are so close to working. Look at this. Here this is almost made, but the king keeps running. Didn't you want to die with I'm realizing now, I'm just saying something so ridiculous. Didn't you want to go out in style?
No.
Not die in style, excuse me.
That was the last episode. This time we're winning in not style.
Look at this, bishop d1. This is mate. He's trapped. If he plays a4, you play bishop b6.
Yeah, I'm going to do what I did. It's so much easier.
Yeah, you're going to start to understand that my style is unbelievably risky. I have a reckless style.
This is like in Austin Powers where he's like, he already won and he's like hitting. It's like there's not even any like gain to doing this. I already won.
You'd rather stay put on 7.
Yeah.
Nice. All right, so g5, rook takes, rook e4. Yeah, you kept on go for the checkmate.
Yeah.
Go for the mate. It's not mate yet, but who knows? Maybe he'll think it's mate and resign. You never know.
I don't know about this advice I've been getting on this game.
So takes here. You took. Yeah, you handled this completely correctly. d4 would also be fine. In general, my instinct is always just to attack it immediately with the pawn, because then even if they get their king out and somehow it's defended, you're still getting a pawn for peace trade. But more or less, it's the same thing. So bishop c3. Nice. Masterful execution here. So takes. I just had one last question for you. So first, I understand you handled this game well. I mean, I did want to talk about this decision. I didn't understand it.
Oh, I already won. I just wanted to, like, hurry up and win.
Yeah, but giving away your pieces is not the way to do that.
I mean, but I'm just going to have a queen in 2 seconds. There's, like, he moves far away, and there's, like, nothing he could do.
No, but his king can go back. It's not that simple. It's just, I don't
It's
understand.
kind of that simple.
I don't understand how it's not more simple with the bishop on the board.
I just wanted to win. I knew I was going to win.
You make decisions like this, you're sooner or later going to get burned.
Nah. Well, yeah, I'll keep it in mind.
You
but
can't
yeah.
keep playing with matches like this forever.
Yeah. No, you know, there is no advantage to playing that way. But I pretty much was just like, I'm just going to make a move and win.
You should just try to set up a mating net. This is check, right? The king only has this one square, so just bring your rook here. There's a very good chance he'll miss it and play c5, and this is mate.
Yeah.
You always got to keep your eyes out for the mating nets.
Yeah, I'm not good at like mating in general. That's why I'm always just playing till it's like pawns.
And if you do want to take here, just push his king away. Push the king away and then take.
That also makes sense.
Yeah. So takes, king g4. Alright, yeah, nothing more to discuss here. You want a good game. This is going on the wall. We need to also have we need to keep track of your highest win ever.
Yeah.
That would be a good metric. At the moment, I guess it's 10-19 against the Butcher of Iran. Kanafthi Pillai. What type of name do you think that is?
Apparently it's Swiss.
It has to be Greek. That has to be a Greek name.
They call him the Swiss cheese.
Yeah. You got another e4, d5, e5 system?
Yeah.
I'm not going to comment.
It's a good system.
What do you think about f6?
It looks bad. I did not think it was a good move.
Yeah. And why were you always so insistent on the sodium attack, by the way?
I like it.
I really like the sodium system.
Yeah.
Yeah. For those...
I did not know I was doing that. I had heard of the sodium attack. I heard it was bad. I didn't realize it was actually good.
Yeah. It's a great opening.
Yeah.
Yeah, for those of you who don't know, the sodium attack is one knight a3. We will be covering it extensively in the future on this channel.
Against Raven's will. I keep forcing us to the sodium attack. My instincts say sodium attack.
Yeah. You should always be looking at the weak squares, though. If they put all their pawns on one color, then that's a sign that your bishop is going to be OP on the other. So just put your bishop here.
Yeah, it makes sense.
If he takes, you take this way, and already you're threatening this mate in one, and this is also going to be a disaster.
That does look much better.
You know this trick of if they push here, you just take, and you're going to snatch the rook?
Yeah, I've had that happen to me.
Nice. That's a good one. So knight c6, knight c4, bishop e6, d3.
And you would say that getting a rook is better than establishing your sodium defense.
It depends.
Yeah.
You gotta go to the doctor and get your blood pressure measured. Sometimes the sodium is more important. Okay, here why not kick the knight out?
I don't know. Just when I was looking at the position, not looking at what my move was, my instinct was to kick the knight. So I don't know why I played whatever I played.
The thing is that the knight would be able to go here, but your knight is covering it.
Yeah.
So they would have to go back to this terrible square, and now you've set up the classic tree.
Yeah, just watching the game afterwards, that seemed like the obvious move.
Yeah. You like putting your pawn on c3. I think you have the wrong priorities, though. Your bishop should be going to this diagonal. Why do you think that this diagonal is so strong, so lucrative here?
Because I'm attacking the rook.
He's pushed his pawn too far, right?
Yeah.
Your bishop has a lot more scope than it normally would. At the moment, if he's mature about it, and if he's taken my course, he will know to build concrete against the bishop long term with this pawn push.
Yeah.
Most people don't know that, though. He's probably going to go blindly. He's going to fight like the blind kung fu master and walk straight into the sun. And, normally, if the pawn is on c5, then your bishop is really tremendous.
Yeah.
And with each incremental pawn that's moved off of this diagonal, your bishop has less and less obstruction. That also does mean, though, in endgames, your bishops won't be able to take any of the pawns. So in the endgame, it's slightly different. But in the middle game, the fact that you have a bishop scoping the entire diagonal is a huge net positive. So queen d5, queen a4, takes, you took. You're playing well, it's just like... My only concern is that you're only playing with 3 pieces.
Yeah.
You've got a whole army waiting at home. They're all yelling to put them in, coach.
Yeah.
They came to play. Takes, you took. Very nice. You got the double. You give them the double pawns. d4. Bishop d. Do you remember what this is called?
Concrete?
Yeah, good. I'm testing you. Knight e5, rook e8. And here you caught a very good idea. Bishop a6 check. If his king runs to b8, you will have check on b1. And, this should be mate soon. Here, and a nice mate with the knight. So he ran to d8. He didn't go that way. You castled.
That made me mad.
Why did it make you mad?
I wanted it.
And how badly did you want it?
I don't know. Let's continue.
So yeah, in this position though, where would your rook really want to go? It would want to go to b8.
Yeah.
Why not just play rook b1? This is a really weird scenario. You're worse developed, but it doesn't matter because his pieces are so discoordinated here.
That's the power of the sodium defense.
This is an unbelievable threat. Yeah, this is your sodium knight.
Yeah.
After all.
I saw it all from the first move.
That's why you missed it when it was right in front of you.
That's why I saw it all.
So what's his only way to try to get out of this?
Maybe push the E-pawn?
Yeah. What would you do now?
We just got weak. Then I would do G5.
Good, exactly. Yeah, just a really nice way to play is just throw in a check to force them to block this square and then go for the same exact mate. They have their choice of which piece to block with, but checkmate will come all the same. Very nice. So castle's E6. Sir, this bishop is not watching the square. What could you have done?
I could have moved my knight there.
Yeah, what's that called?
A fork.
Nice. And what do you eat with a fork?
Spaghetti.
No, the correct answer was sodium. So bishop d6, rook e1. Yeah, you missed this. I'm happy you still won the game. You're playing very good strategic chess, but you're just missing some basic tactics.
Yeah.
So takes, king d7. Bishop g5, c5. That wasn't good. Going back here for a second, I just want to talk about this, though. I mentioned this a bit in my course. For your homework, I'm going to figure out a way to get you a copy of my course. And, yeah, we're going to deal with that. Yeah, rooks are very interesting. If a rook is tied in like this and can't really move in three directions, it's badly placed.
Yeah.
The best move here would probably be rook e1. Your bishop would be good here. Look at that. It would be controlling the whole board here. These are very minor things, though, right? I'm just trying to slowly change your conceptual vision of the board. The issues, the reason why you're not winning every single game is due to tactics. And if you improve that, you'll probably get to 1600 before we'll need to talk about these things. But it's good just to lay the groundwork conceptually.
Yeah.
A bishop would be much better here.
Makes sense.
A rook, objectively, it's not that good because it doesn't have any real pressure. There's never any situation in which a rook would want to trade for a bishop or want to trade for a knight.
But what if your opponent, for no reason, plays c5?
Well, yeah, I mean, that's true.
These are things you have to think about.
That's an insight, honestly, that as a grandmaster I would never think about. There is a chance that they'll forget the bishop can go backwards.
We've all been there.
Takes, nice, and you took the better piece. A knight is worth 3, a pawn is worth 1.
Yeah.
You took the 3. A smart man. Out for a bargain. Rook takes d5, king c6, rook e2. Yeah, your position is fantastic here. I'm always trying to give you as many guidelines as possible. The simplest place to put try to always get your bishops onto cement. So put it here.
Yeah.
Because then it's defended, especially when the rooks are all out. There are going to be a lot of tactics. So long as you're alert, you're probably not going to lose the bishop, but there are going to be double attacks, and all of a sudden you might have to lose pawns or something. If your bishop is defended like this, there are no tactics.
Yeah.
Whatsoever. It's just a very nice prophylactic measure.
That's a good word.
It's surprisingly common in chess.
No, I mean, it fits.
Yeah. No, I mean, I know in mainstream society it means something very different, but in chess it's extremely common. Rook d2, rook e5, bishop h4, g5, bishop g3, rook d3, rook g8. What's going on here? h4? You didn't want to trade?
No.
Why not?
Because then his rook would be on an open file.
Yeah, man, you're thinking super intuitively. I honestly like the style. Your bishop is even safer now. Your bishop is really like a perfect sniper. You want to think of your bishops like snipers. Bishops do not like being harassed, right? Have you ever seen those war movies where a sniper like gets caught by someone close by?
Yeah.
He's just done for.
Yeah.
The bishop needs to stay hidden. It
Yeah.
needs to stay hidden and stay out of the way. And like even when it's close by, it needs to be up on a tower somewhere. It needs to be far away, just maybe not in a geographical sense, but at least in a mechanical sense. It can't be easy for the enemy to access it all. And likewise, yeah, technically the bishop, it could easily become very close to a rook. Like they could bring the rook here. That wouldn't change the fact that it's almost impossible. What else does this secure for your bishop, by the way? What is the word for this?
It's not an outpost. It is a treehouse.
Yeah, a treehouse.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, and you see it all fits together. Snipers like tree houses.
Everyone knows that.
That's why I never. That's why I'm always afraid of a tree house when I see one.
Yeah.
I'm wondering if there's a sniper hiding up there. That little rascal. So okay, nice. You just won. Your opponent just gave you a rook.
We take the wins where we get them.
Yeah, this was a good win. A big W. All right, let's look at the last game. It's D4. Was this a loss or a win?
Win.
Nice. Oh yeah, you got 3 wins. That's good.
Yeah.
We started out on a loss, so I was a bit depressed. Okay, so yeah, just in general, trade the wing pawn for the center pawn. There's a more deep strategic reason for this, for doing this in this position, but in general, trading a wing pawn for a center pawn is pretty much never a bad thing. What I'm always trying to teach you through these lessons are the rules that you can apply in like 98% of cases. Because I don't want any letters like the great Dr. Tarash received. So knight c6, knight e5. What do you think about this move?
It doesn't really accomplish much.
No, it's not good. You're not supposed to move a piece twice in the opening.
Yeah.
Like,
it just doesn't do anything.
Yeah, perhaps it improves the knight slightly, but in the grand scheme of things, there's so many other things in White's position that he should have been improving.
And there's not like any piece of mine that's particularly threatened.
Yeah, exactly. So bishop d6, b3, you took. Nice, you took again. So what should you have done here, sir?
Take the fork.
Yeah, you would be winning a knight, and you would be winning a rook. You, on the other hand, played d4.
The second best. Move.
Perhaps you were intimidated by the man's name, Empowerment Estate. Yeah,
yeah.
I think this guy has a hedge fund. He's a popular Wall Street broker. So takes.
I mean, yeah, what to do there? So
yeah, no, I'm sorry. My mind was just frozen. I couldn't understand.
I'm not good with the tactics yet.
Bishop takes d4, queen c2. So right here, I would really look at targeting this queen. If we can distract the queen, we can get that fork that you should have goggled up the first time.
Yeah.
So I would look to just bring a bishop here. At the moment, do you see any problem with this move?
It's impossible.
Exactly. You gotta move a pawn. You gotta bring a pawn out. And you're gonna play bishop f5, for instance. If they do something like bishop e2, you can do this. And if they take, you're gonna win a knight back and then immediately get a rook.
Yep.
So this could be an interesting idea. The other thing is that if they play bishop d3, your bishop is just much better placed here long term. Your bishop could come to this natural square here. Notice that your bishop is on an outpost. They have no e-pawn, and they've pushed their c-pawn too far. Your bishop is on a wonderful outpost here, so now it makes sense to cement it as much as possible. If you cement it in this way, long term, like let's say bishop d3 happens, and eventually I'm just going to make some moves just to show you a position. Like, of course, you would take the rook here, but the whole idea with the cement, when you have this much cement here, is that even if they take, you take back and you have a protected passed pawn.
Yep.
Do you remember what a passed pawn is?
Good.
Well, what does it mean, though?
I don't understand the question, I think.
A passed pawn is a pawn that is not, whose path is not guarded by any other pawns, right? No
I
pawns
thought you were asking for some kind of funny nickname. I know what a passed pawn is.
No, it's a classic chess definition.
No, I know what I know. I thought you were wanting to tell you like the Swahili
No.
grilled cheese or whatever.
No.
No, I know what a passed pawn is.
I don't like jokes. I'm not a jokes man. Okay, but you know what a passed pawn is.
Yeah.
A protected just means it's protected by another pawn. This is fantastic because this means that it's always going to be a boon in their side, and you get to choose when to make the decisive run.
Yeah.
Because as soon as you start running, it does become more vulnerable because you don't have a pawn protecting. But you could just keep this as long as you need until the right moment.
Yeah.
And they'll never, even if they attack it with a million pieces, they're only ever getting 2 pawns.
Yeah.
Nice. I'm excited for your chess, man. You strive for greatness.
I just need to get the free money.
Yeah.
They've offered it up to me multiple times in this one session.
Yeah.
And I always say no thank you.
Yeah, exactly. So h6, takes, castles. This time you took the free money.
Yeah. Better late than never.
Yeah. They checked.
Who cares?
Yeah, the check doesn't do anything. I tell a lot of my students this. A lot of people like lining up for this check. It doesn't do anything if it's not combined with other
I saw it
moves.
coming and I thought through and I thought, who cares?
Yeah. Exactly. No, in this position, if they don't immediately retreat, you just trap it.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, we learned that was the Fisher thing.
Yeah, exactly. Smart boy. Bishop
Well,
d7,
grown
queen
man.
e4. So this time he set up correctly. The queen is going to do damage there. And you dodged it. g6. He played g4. You little rascal. You. That's a very sneaky move. That's a very crafty move. At your level, though, this is going to win a lot of games.
Oh, yeah.
People are going to be like, what's that bishop doing over there?
This guy's an idiot. This guy's a freaking idiot.
Yeah. No, this is a fantastic move, actually, because very few people at your level are going to realize that you've been clearing the way. Because you understand, the way most people look at chess below 1200 is they look at the piece, they do not look at how the position changed.
Yeah.
So this piece, it's not, what else is it doing? It's not doing anything else. What, are they going to go back? But yeah, you hit him with the very nice shot. Very good. Woo! You played well. For this week, you've been doing your tactics.
I did not do some of the other piece of homework, the
Yeah.
French defense. And now that we realize that even playing as white, I played the French defense, I should probably do the course. Cause
Yeah.
it's literally all I play.
Yeah.
Who was it by again?
If you don't do your homework next week, you're going to have to show up in the propeller hat.
Okay. Who was it by again?
Anish Giri.
All right. So yeah, it's a big name. I should look it up.
Yeah. Also, I wanted to. I'll get you my course, and you will do the first couple chapters.
Okay.
You're gonna like it. All right. Cool.
And this is in the future, so you probably won't see this until almost Christmas. But it's Thanksgiving here, so happy Thanksgiving.
And happy Thanksgiving Eve.
Yeah. Bye bye.